Beneath the burning sand of the Sahara, scientists have uncovered the remains of an animal that should never have survived here. The hippopotamus, a creature dependent on deep water, once occupied regions that now receive almost no rain. So what happened to its vanished kingdom? The answer begins with a Sahara almost impossible to imagine. Between roughly 11,000 and 5,000 years ago, stronger African monsoons transformed huge areas of North Africa into grassland, rivers, and freshwater lakes. This was the African Humid Period, the Green Sahara. Lake sediments, pollen, river deposits, and marine dust records all confirm that North Africa was dramatically wetter than it is today. Hippos were among the clearest signs of that transformation. Their fossils have been found far inside regions that are now desert, alongside remains of fish, elephants, and other animals, requiring environments very different from modern Sahara. Satellite imagery and radar have helped researchers trace ancient drainage systems now concealed beneath sand. These buried channels reveal that the Sahara was repeatedly crossed by rivers capable of linking isolated lakes across enormous distances. This was not one mysterious river beneath a single dune field. Researchers have mapped evidence of ancient waterways across several parts of the Sahara. During wet phases, these systems opened migration routes for animals. At the center of this watery world stood an expanded Lake Chad. At its greatest prehistoric extent, the Mega-Chad Basin covered a vastly larger area than the shrinking modern lake, creating wetlands capable of supporting huge populations of aquatic wildlife. A full-grown male hippo can exceed 3,000 kilograms. Its skin is highly vulnerable to dehydration and overheating, so it normally spends much of the day in water or mud. Finding hippos deep in the Sahara means reliable water persisted there. But hippos are not permanently trapped in one pool. At night, they leave the water to graze and can travel over land. During humid periods, expanding rivers, marshes, and seasonal lakes may have allowed generations of hippos to spread northward in stages. Many Holocene Saharan remains are generally associated with the common hippopotamus, Hippopotamus amphibius, the same broad species surviving in sub-Saharan Africa today. The Sahara did produce a genuine genetic surprise, but it came from humans. In 2025, scientists sequenced 2 people buried at Takarkori in southwestern Libya and identified ancestry from a previously unknown, long-isolated North African human lineage. That human discovery is sometimes blended with stories of vanished Saharan animals. For the desert hippos, fossils and landscapes, not genomes, remain the strongest witnesses. Humans living in the Green Sahara also left images of the world around them. Rock engravings and paintings from North Africa depict wildlife associated with wetter environments, including hippos in some regional traditions. The transformation began far beyond Africa. Slow changes in Earth's orbital orientation increased northern hemisphere summer sunlight. North Africa heated more strongly, drawing moisture inland and strengthening monsoon rainfall across the Sahara. Eventually, orbital conditions shifted again. Summer monsoons weakened. The Sahara did not dry everywhere at precisely the same moment, but between approximately 7,000 and 5,000 years ago, many lakes contracted and vegetation retreated. Hippo populations would have become divided as continuous waterways broke into isolated pools. What had been a connected habitat turned into ecological islands, separating groups that once moved across broad river and lake systems. Some animals may have persisted temporarily in permanent springs, river sections, or gueltas, deep pools protected within rocky desert channels. But hippos require more than drinking water. They also need enough grazing land and suitable breeding habitat. As grasslands vanished, food would have declined around the remaining pools. There is no confirmed evidence that Saharan hippos rapidly evolved into succulent-eating desert specialists. Where connected waterways remained, some populations may have shifted toward regions with more dependable water. Elsewhere, local groups were simply stranded. Their disappearance was probably not one dramatic extinction event, but many regional losses spread across centuries. Today, their world survives as scattered clues, bones beneath lake deposits, abandoned river channels, pollen sealed in sediment, aquatic fossils, and images carved into stone. The Saharan hippos were not supernatural creatures or proven genetic mutants. They were something more revealing, familiar animals living in a world that no longer exists. Their fossils remind us that even the greatest desert can hide the memory of rivers.